First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
It's Labor Day weekend.
You know, I forgot that. Somebody had said yesterday that, hey, we don't have to work on Monday. I don't count holidays because of my schedule, but I'm like, what is Monday? And then, yes, it is. It is Labor Day. Boy, the summer went fast.
It did.
But I think part of it's all the rain we got. People are so entrenched with all the rain, and it's exciting, it's green, and boy, but it went fast.
And also, tonight, we're kicking off Cochise County football with Sheriff Mark Daniels calling the games.
Yeah, we're excited about that. And Coach Young will be out there. Corey, my son, will be out there. So we're excited. In fact, we're going to put the final touches on it today, and we kick off pregame at 6:30, and at 7 o'clock the kickoff of the game. And we're going to be in Tombstone. Chandler Prep High School is coming down from the Phoenix area to take on Tombstone. Now, Tombstone, I saw, actually is not charging tonight. Open admission tonight to come into the game. They just got off a 9-game loss. 9 games they lost. Skid they were on, so they won last weekend. They won 42-0 against Santa Rita. Santa Rita's struggling. They only had 13 kids come out. So this game with Chandler Prep will be a real true test for Tombstone. So it's going to be exciting. I mean, and one thing about these rural football games, man, they pack the stands. They really do. So if you're looking to do something tonight, you just want to come out and see a few minutes of football, coming out to Tombstone. We'll be out there calling the game on K101, All Hits Radio. But then Buena, just make a note, Buena's heading to Phoenix area to play on Mountain Point tonight. And then they'll be back home next Friday taking on Cienega Bobcats. So we'll be airing that game.
And as you said, it's going to be on a different radio station this year. It's on 100.9 FM, K101. And there is an app you can download to listen to the games. So if you can't make it to the game, you can still hear Sheriff Mark Daniels on your app as well.
Yeah, so we're excited about that. Tune in with us tonight. We're going to give some, how can I say this? Some attention to some of those football players, some of our local student athletes tonight, so we're excited.
And it's good because we didn't get to do this last year.
We didn't, and I know I had a lot of coaches asking me, hey, you coming out? And it was hard with COVID going on and the unpredictable schedules that every high school had last year. It was just tough. We couldn't say anything with the radio station, as you know, and we wanted to make sure we're honoring the restrictions that were out there. So it just didn't happen. But this year, like I said, it's back. College football is kicking in hard and heavy this weekend, so everybody's attuned to the TV station. So.
Yeah.
NFL should be coming. Hey, are we ready for some football?
Yeah, in fact, next week from this coming Thursday, actually.
It is.
NFL kicks off, and I don't know who's even playing next Thursday, but I'm a Bears fan, so you can see how much enthusiasm I have.
Okay, I don't know if I would admit that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
just
just kidding.
It's the best character test there is out there. There really is. They taught me character over the many, many years I watched the Bears win their one Super Bowl back in '85.
And speaking of local high school football, you were at the high school yesterday with Buena teaching their CTE class. So tell us a little bit about what that entails and, you know, how great those kids are, because they really are.
You know, I tell you, always hear the stories about schools, how bad kids are in school. And of course, I've coached there, and I spent a lot of time there doing programs with them, part of the CTA, which is their career technical education program out there, excuse me, which is their, one of them is the criminal justice. So Coach Keel out there, I went out there yesterday, and actually, I'll be very transparent. I thought it was a half day, so the classes are all shortened. I get there, and because Thursdays are usually their half days at Buena. Well, they switched that to Wednesday, so I was there all day, and but I had a great time. I ate lunch with the kids, went down there, and a lot of them are my wrestlers. It's a good time to recruit and talk to the kids that are playing football. They're dual athletes and they also wrestle, and talk to the new principal, Nicole, over there. She's great. She's got a lot of enthusiasm, and it was just a good day. And we talked about leadership, you know, getting in law enforcement, kind of diluting the stigma that's on law enforcement right now, that it's all bad. It's truly not the case. Truly not the case, especially in rural America where 88% of the policing takes place in this country, and there's some great policing going on. Truly, I can't speak for urban, the 12%, and I don't want to, but on the 88% of rural policing where the community knows us, we know them, we know our future kids, that's the way to serve. I love serving here.
And one of the interesting things about, I'm just going to sideline this just a little bit on the CTE program, is they have that one that one section for law enforcement, and then they have another one for fire. So what kids do is they're able to sign up and they can take that as a class, and then they have uniforms and they learn all the different aspects of policing and detention. And you have kids who are going to high school. They can get dual credit for some of these things that they're working on, and it just gives them a way to look at their futures and see if there's a career path forward. So noticing that in a lot of kids, and that's a really good thing to have them focus on that.
It really is. In fact, I talked to Mike Lebrecht, who's a retired captain from Fry Fire, a paramedic. He's teaching the paramedicine program over there. And then you look at the CNA program they have at Buena, the culinary program they have. So it gives these kids great opportunities to move into the professional world or transition to college or whatever they wish to do. But I'm impressed with the kids and the caliber of students over there that are just learning so much by these instructors. So kudos to them.
And trying to instruct them on, you can be 18 years of age when you go to work at our jail. That's a great place to start. That's a building block that you can work on your future career. So we try to push that all the time, let people know. And you were telling the students that as long as they have their high school diploma or GED, that they're a good person and that they're willing to work hard. That's pretty much what they need to do. So we also touched on those things at our hiring fair last Friday at the mall.
How did that go? Was it well attended?
We were hoping for a lot more. It was Friday, so I'm not quite sure, what the status of that was. But it went. There was a lot of turnout from public safety agencies. That was a great turnout.
We had like 15, 16 different agencies out there.
A lot of people looking for help. So, if you are in the market for a job, come and take a look at all the different places that you could apply. CCOM was there with their new director, Mike Klein, and they were hoping to get some interest. We had information about our Sheriff's Assist team, so we passed out some information about that. We also had Judge Conlog, retired Judge Jim Conlog was there for the cable, the connection with community group that we have established through the Sheriff's Office and law enforcement. So it's our community connection between public safety and the public. So he was there just to answer any questions. There were no questions, for the most part on that. A couple people had mentioned it. So they're going to be working on their platform and trying to see if they can increase their membership numbers. But again, it's, by a vetting process, and you have to apply. You have to see how things are going. But I think that, with that mall and maybe being a Friday and just a lot of different factors, I think maybe it could have had a whole bunch more people coming there. But again, you said it earlier, the stigma that's on public safety. I don't know how much that played into that whole thing.
It's really sad, too, because I continue to say this, that, what happens in the bigger cities, L.A., Phoenix, Portland, all the places, is totally different than how we police down here. I mean, Miss Arizona made a comment to me when she was here a couple weeks ago. We drove around and saw Melanie over at the chamber, and went over and saw the fire chief and the police chief, and just went all over the place meeting different people in the community. And what was interesting on that, she said, in Maricopa County, there's no way this could happen. My appointments are 2 to 3 weeks out before we could even meet with, like, the sheriff or other people. And I said, well, that's a great thing about rural policing. We know each other both professionally and personally. And that's even with me. When I make a traffic stop, there's a good chance, a real high chance, that I know the people. So it makes the stop so much simpler. It really does. You explain why you're being stopped. We talk for a few minutes, and then they move on their way, and once it's corrected. But up there, that's not the case. It's totally not the case. The atmosphere toward law enforcement is completely different. And I've sat in those meetings with the governor and the police chiefs up there, and I'm not being ill in any way. And I've sat with the groups that oppose law enforcement up there, and hearing them talk is amazing to me. It's just foreign to me that, wow, we have people that just, groups of this magnitude that don't like law enforcement. We don't have that here. I mean, Tony and Cleo over at NAACP, for example, we got a great relationship with them because we work together for the community, and the many, many other groups out there. And I tell people all the time, listen, we're all not going to agree. But the bottom line, at the end of the day, we got to be facing the same way, going the same way for our community. And we do that here. But that's the great thing about rural policing. It's truly nice. And they know if they called me at 2 in the morning, even the people that say, oh, I don't agree with everything the sheriff does, they know if they called me at 2 in the morning and they had a crisis, I my team will be right there for them, and that's most important.
And one of the things, I mean, you were talking about community getting involved. We were able to contact Texas Roadhouse and really establish, them helping sponsor that hiring fair as well, with providing lunch to the participants. So they did a really good job, and we appreciate them. Saul over there and his group, they were just so gracious, and everybody who was there, we appreciate every single participant who signed up and who actually, took a pledge to be there and do the best that they could to try to get new blood infused into their organization.
Well, it's an impressive community when it comes. We're a small community, and I don't know if you saw the census. Our census actually, excluding Sierra Vista, went up a little bit in population, but I think every other community went down. I mean, some 10%. And that's not good for Cochise County. We know it's not good. I can't say, you push this, I push this, Grady, you push this really hard that, be counted, be counted. So I don't know if we miss people because you drive up and down 92 and Fry Boulevard, or you sit in the line at Culver's for, there's a lot of people out there. So you would think it would have been a huge increase. But what I'm being told, it's not. Talking to an individual the other day about this. So, yeah, I mean, we're still a very small community that's kind of stagnant. Sierra Vista is the only thing that really carried it, but then again, you look at Sierra Vista, we lost Golden Corral, we lost IHOP, we lost Outback. I mean, these are well-established corporate businesses that are still thriving in other communities. Why didn't they thrive here? And it's always a big question. I mean, I know Tony Boone over at Economic Development for the city, and all of us are in this together when it comes to how do we promote Cochise County in a good way, and we'll continue to do that. But I continue to say is, if you don't have a good public safety component within these communities, you're going to have a problem. As economies go bad, public safety crime goes up. That's historically the truth and the facts. So we need to work together, public safety and economics working together.
I have a story to share with you that happened 2 weeks ago at the Veterans Fair that Officer Cruz and he's transport at the jail. He actually, an older man came in and said, I don't know where I parked my car. Can you guys help me? And so we figured out which door he came in, and we sent him on his way. Well, he came back in, and he found Officer Cruz, and he said, I can't tell where my car is. Officer Cruz took this man's keys and walked around, it was hot, each parking lot, pushing the button, trying to find this guy's car. He found it. He came back and got the guy and walked him to his vehicle. So when we talk about a stigma on police work, and I see this kind of thing, that's the kind of story we need to get out there. So good job to Officer Cruz from the jail.
Well, but our competition, I'll just be honest with, is, a cop does a bad thing 3,000 miles from here, East Coast. It becomes national news. We're dealing with a national challenge on that because people are very influential on national news. I get it. We all watch it. And next thing you know, you got a stigma running down every agency and staining and tarnishing every agency. So we got to continue to do what's right. We got to continue to share those stories like you're talking. I'm so impressed, and I say that when I speak with the men and women that serve the sheriff's office and the many law enforcement agencies here in the county. They truly go the extra mile. When we have an individual, like we just did this week, Carol, where that was terrorizing the city, terrorizing the county, that we came together to go after him, to make a point. I mean, that's the great thing about rural policing. We don't get caught up in the bureaucracy of it. So if you want to come in here and start burglarizing, you want to come in here and start harming or risking people, we're going to get you. It's very simple. There's an article in the paper about this couple that allegedly killed their toddler, and now they're being sought. The mom's been taken into custody, and now they're looking for the father. And but it's all over. The community knows we're looking for this guy, so we will get him. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's fighting time right now because he's going to get caught. So that's a great thing about a rural community. Our community's behind us when it comes to policing and when it comes to solving crimes.
And that, talking about the community, I think it's just the networking and working well with all of our community members, all of our department members, other agencies, trying to get back into the swing of things after this year. One of the things that you work closely with is the school system, and so you work with Jackie Clay as the school superintendent, and so they have a new Crossroads Academy sign out there, a billboard, and so she's asked you to help with some of the stuff that they have going on there.
Jackie and I have spoke about this school, and the school is really to help those in need that maybe traditional high school didn't work for them, and maybe they got in trouble, whatever it is. And so between Jackie, and she's the spear on this, taking this forward. She's the point when it comes to getting this school off the ground, getting the energy from the community behind the program, which she has done that. There's a big billboard, I think it's out in Whetstone. They just posted that about the school, and it's going forward. It's very successful so far. Once again, it provides opportunity for those that maybe didn't have hope anymore, and she's done that. Jackie asked me if I'd sit on their advisory or their little school board, and I'm going to do that, mainly to support Jackie. She does so much. She's a great friend of mine, but she's out there making a difference in this community, and whenever I see that and see that much energy, I want to support her for what she's doing.
And another way that you're helping to support schools and getting kids to be the focus is the CASA program. You said that they just voted to provide money to Buena for sports.
Yeah, CASA is Court Appointed Special Advocacy Group, and it's kind of a small nonprofit here in Cochise County. We work with Abby over at the courts, the CASA program over there. She's the director. But we're the financial arm of that. We're the advisory arm of that, CASA. So we have a CASA volunteer. We have a child that needs something. We step up and do that. That's really what we do. And in this case, I got to sit through a meeting here a couple weeks ago as a coach myself, but with the new principal at Buena and athletic director, Mr. Deuce, and all the coaches. And one of the concerns we have as coaches is we have so many kids. We look and drive, we think, okay, there's not a problem. Everybody's being taken care of. We know that's not true. In our sports program, we have so many kids that can't afford to pay for sports. And it's $160 for the first sport, very expensive, and then it goes down like $75, and there's different programs, different funds, but that's kind of gives you an idea. So $160 to some people is a lot of money. So what we did in CASA was we spoke about it, we discussed it. We just donated $10,000 to Silvers School District for kids, so it pays to play. So there's no reason why they can't be on a sports venue or extracurricular venue to get out there and do it. And I'm going to speak to a couple other groups to say, what about equipment too? Well, some of these kids maybe can't afford wrestling shoes or can't afford whatever it is, because each sport you have to go out and buy your own independent equipment. So we're going to help those kids. We want these kids to be involved in their experience at high school, but if they can't, money should never be a factor. So we're stepping up and doing that. I know the Sheriff's Office, through our 501c3 funding program, we've helped Buena kids. We've helped other schools too. We've helped schools all around the county. So I just think it's something that's essential. I mean, you get 4 short years to go to high school, and like I talked yesterday, exploit everything, have some fun with it, socialize with it, enjoy the programs that are being offered, and I'm telling you, it'll be a great experience as you move into your adulthood.
The Sheriff's Assist team just had their awards luncheon.
They did. Good luncheon. I mean, and we got 100+ volunteers that serve our mission, and I'll tell you, these volunteers, you seldom hear them complain about anything. They go out, they'll tell you what they need. I mean, we're short on vehicles right now, and they've all expressed that, both Search and Rescue and Sheriff's Assist team. We just got 5 new vehicles from the state for our Sheriff's team. Got $55,000 for equipment for Search and Rescue, 10 more radios for them. We're working on some backfill on vehicles for them. But listen, they come out. Our Sheriff's Assist team, to put in perspective, the amount of hours they put in equates to 5.5 full-time deputies every year, just on the Sheriff's Assist team, not accounting for Search and Rescue when they go out and do the rescues 24/7, 2 in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they've been very, very busy with this monsoon season. So my hat's off to all our volunteers that serve not just the Sheriff's Office, but all law enforcement and government, because it's truly a blessing to have our citizens. People ask me all the time, well, Sheriff, with everything going on the border, for example, we're coming down. In fact, there's a group that wants to talk to me tomorrow about coming to town and taking charge of this border. Seems so simple. The intent is good. The reality is, it's so. What's the word I'm looking for? It's called vicarious liability. If I say, yeah, go down there and do this, you guys take this side, and anything happens negative, the taxpayers of Cochise County become vicarious liable to that, and so do I. I got to be very careful, because the disciplines within the Sheriff's Office I control. The disciplines with people that are not vetted through the Sheriff's Office, I have no control. But once I sanction them, I also sanction the community to that liability. And so, though their intent, they're patriotic, I get it, I support that, I respect that, it's easier said than done.
And there's so many different groups that just want to come, and we've actually, had to vet some of them and explain that very thing, that, we just can't be seen as part of that membership, if you will. So that's how you have to look at that.
True, it is. And so I tell people, going back to what we're talking about, is the 100 volunteers I have are all been vetted. They've been trained. They're in a capacity that right now I can make 2 phone calls, one to the search side, one to the Sheriff's Assist side, and I got 100 volunteers pouring into a community. I think that's awesome. That have been vetted and trained. That's my first line of defense, along with the law enforcement, local, state, and federal that serve this community. That's a good contingency for a county that's got about 125,000 people. I'm very impressed with that. So we're ready. We got a lot of plans. We've talked about so many things of how we can, if there is a crisis or something that's not working, how we respond to that. And we're ready for that.
And so part of that award ceremony, they hit 2 separate Volunteers of the Year because they weren't able to do anything last year. So Dan Long and Mike Dominy, congratulations on being selected as the Sheriff's Assist Team Volunteers of the Year.
And there was a nice article in the paper. Thank you, Service to Herald, for covering that with Dan Majerus, who was a Sheriff's Office Volunteer of the Year. Dan went around the county. He's a retired colonel from the military, retired chaplain. He's been filling in for chaplain for us and doing good work for those community members that are in need. They lost a loved one. Dan goes out there and spends time with them and does follow-up with them to include the health of my employees. I can't say enough about Dan Majerus and all our volunteers that go out and do good things every day. In fact, Dan Long has led the charge over in Apache School, the little one-room schoolhouse over in the east side of the county, right in the New Mexico state line, where they had radio problems. They had illegals coming through the school, scaring the kids, asking for water, asking for things. I mean, like every day. So the school reached out to us. They go out there every day to keep those kids just in the prevention mode. So, and since they've done that, they've gone around the school. They're not going back to the school, and it's worked. So just their effort to go, I hear them every morning checking on, heading to Apache School. Now, that's a long drive, a long commitment for volunteers to get paid nothing to do it, but they're over there taking care of those kids every day. Small example of what's going on with the volunteers.
And then the Governor Highway Safety is also having a luncheon.
They did have the luncheon.
They had it already.
They had it Monday. And that's the annual Government Office of Highway Safety. I always put community safety, which is the terminology built in there, but they don't say it that way. But it's a highway community safety luncheon sponsored through the governor's office. And I went up Monday morning. I was invited to go up there, and the Governor Ducey was there. Our Attorney General Berdovich was there. Police Chief Jerry Williams, a good friend of mine from Phoenix PD, was there. The Sheriff of Penzone, a lot of sheriffs from about the county, a lot of police chiefs, and then about 500 officers were there. And so it was just a great event as we came together. But I want to give a shout out to Governor Ducey. I mean, his support for law enforcement has been there. I've worked very close with him. He's a good friend of mine. A lot of people know that. And talked to him while I was up there. He sat right next to me there. But I'll tell you, it's nice to have a governor that supports public safety. What's going on in this country. And he made a comment. He said this before in his State of the State addresses I've been at, that our first priority in the state of Arizona is public safety. Our first priority in every community, every county, and the state should be public safety. Kind of what I hit on a minute ago. I mean, you have good, trusted public safety in your communities. I promise you got opportunities to grow. If you don't, you're going to challenge that. Because the first thing they're going to say, that's something I fight all the time, is the stigma down here because of the border. I fight it all the time. And let me go back. We have fought stigma, we fought reality. But we're working so good when it comes to what's going on this border. Is it in a tough position right now? I do my border updates every Friday. Yeah, we're doing some challenges we haven't seen since the 90s. But we'll continue to do that. Your cities are a great place to live. I've never said they were not. Right now, what we're seeing on the border is transitional, trying to get through our county at all expenses, which means there's a risk to our community. But we'll continue to stand up on that. We'll continue to do our best, and we'll continue to be loud until this border is secure again. But this is a great place to live. And but public safety is paramount in this state. I appreciate the governor for saying that, and I thank him for saying that.
And with everybody working closely together, or at least trying to keep, your arms around the people that can help you out or that you can help them, you were in Tombstone at an event on Sunday because they reached out and wanted to do, a law enforcement appreciation.
It was a nice event. I went over there Sunday, and I go to a lot of communities. In fact, we just got invited a week on 9/11 up in Turkey Creek for a big, having a Cowboy Association luncheon up there, and I mean, we get invited to a lot of events throughout the county, and some are really good, and some are small, but it's not the quantitative numbers that are there, it's the quality of the event. This was a quality event, no doubt about it. And we got there, there's about 40, 50 people that showed up at this event, and myself, the Border Patrol, 2 leaders from the Wilcox office was there, Mike Hyatt from our NACO office there, and the Tombstone Marshal, and then our new school resource officer, NACO, Bobby Savala, was there. So we went over there, and we all spoke. We all talked about some challenges and thanked the community for supporting us. And then they had this great luncheon afterwards. I mean, you know how it is, the hometown luncheon. And so we spent some time mingling. I got out of there about 1:32 in the afternoon, and but it was well attended, well supported, and again, I'm very blessed to serve in a county like this. Because I know it's not all that. I know it's not like that in other parts of the country. We're pretty blessed here, so I continue to remind people, when deputies or anybody says, "Well, I think I'm going to go work here." I heard a statement last night. I hope I can repeat it right. That if you think it's greener over there, maybe you ought to water it more here, which I think has got some merit behind it. I think it's very good. We got a good thing going here. So, and you talk to people that leave, and they come back. Yeah, and then they're complaining about that agency or that office or that department. It's not always greener, I promise you.
And speaking of people who are appreciating public safety, got a call yesterday from Copper Queen, and they invited they're working on public safety, but specifically asked the Sheriff's Office to come down to lunch today at their Palominas Clinic because they wanted to show their appreciation for law enforcement. So we want to thank Copper Queen for thinking about us and extending that invitation.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. We're always, our community's behind us. You look at the 70 nonprofits here in Cochise County. There are 70 nonprofits, and just that's what I'm talking about, just out of the Sierra Vista area and the Hereford area here, that are doing good things for this community, helping the community, helping our children, helping our youth, helping our adults, pets, you name it. They're out there stepping up, taking these donated funds and making this a better place. And I can't look at the Legacy Foundation, the many, many good things Margaret and her team are doing over there as we all address, for example, mental health. And these are big ticket items. These aren't, I need $100 to push this program through. These are big ticket items that every community is addressing. But Margaret's been in the corner with us on that since we've opened these discussions, and I appreciate that. But so many, NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness, I speak there once a year for them, and I can't say enough about the good things they're doing in this community. But it just goes back to the reflective of this community, the collective efforts to make this a better place to live.
There's going to be an event on September 11. Keeper of Liberty and the Warrior Healing Center are collaborating to bring some concerts to Sierra Vista's Veterans Memorial Park. And it's got a lineup of Trey Taylor, Keith Anderson, who's a country artist, Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin Brothers, and then Don McLean, who sings, of course, famously American Pie. This is all happening on September 11th.
That's a really neat event. I think it starts at 3:45 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And there's going to be different public safety and military going to be out there. And that's what this is all about. They're supporting public safety. They're supporting the military. And Tim and Kathy, who run the Warrior Center, thank you. They're going to be on the show today. But hopefully they'll get here next Friday before the concert. But what a cool event. I know it's being aired on Cherry Creek. You're putting it out there. But what a way to bring the community together. Kind of what we're talking about today. Now you got the Warrior Healing Center that came in over the last few years, and it's just done amazing work to help our veterans. I stand 100% behind that. And so what they're doing that day is really to bring a community together and honor our military and honor our public safety. So Tim and Kathy and to your team, thank you so much. I will be out there in support of this. I got a lot of events going on that day. We'll talk about it next Friday more, but I'll be all over the county from Douglas to Turkey Creek to Sierra Vista and to that event. So, but again, I appreciate what they're doing there.
And everybody needs to mark their calendars now because this is going to be an all-day thing from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. They've got a car show, they've got food, they've got drinks, they've got cornhole tournaments, they've got the concert. So make sure that you take some time, interact with all of the things that are going on. Parking is free. You have to have a ticket to get into the concert. So again, more details will be coming on that. But pay attention. Make sure that you can join into whatever that is going to be all day long. Sunscreen. Think you're going to need sunscreen. And just have some fun.
And that's really what it is. It's a community event. Relax, enjoy the music, enjoy the company, enjoy your community. And I just can't say that enough. So I really think the timing was perfect on this for Tim and Kathy. So their vision to say, let's do this right now. It's just, I'm excited about it.
And you are combining your stop of the week with your safety message of the week. I
am. And we see this all the time. You see all the debris along the highways, the roadways. I mean, buckets, tools, garbage, shrubbery, you name it. If you're walking down the highway, it's amazing what you see. Well, the other day I was coming back on a highway, and this trailer was being pulled by a truck, was in front of me, and highway speeds, and I looked, and the ramp on the back of this trailer was bouncing everywhere. It was about 60% off the trailer, which means a couple more bumps. It would have been in the highway causing a bad situation. So I stopped the vehicle, and these ramps were like 60, 70-pound ramps. They're commercial contractor ramps. And I walked up, and I said, listen, you got to secure these ramps. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, as I look at more, and let me hit on my safety message on that. That is a violation of law. If it's called a unsecured load. So if something falls out of the bed of your pickup, something falls out of your off your trailer, that's a violation. You can be charged for it. And if something bad happens, like in this scenario, if that thing were to come off on a highway speeds, and there was 2 lanes on each 4-lane highway, and cause a serious accident, you are responsible for that. And in this case, I was talking to him. I looked down, and there's no plates. I said, where's your plates? I don't have plates. Where's the plates on the vehicle? The truck he was pulling with. Yeah, I don't have that either. Let me try insurance. Let me just gamble with that one. I didn't have that either. So here you got a person that's pulling a contractor trailer down the road with the ramps about ready to fall off. If it caused a major accident, and it would have caused some injury, he had no insurance. And I just had a friend that had this, where the individual rear-ended him with no insurance, and he got cited for it. So what happens? And so they asked me, and what the remedy on that is, it's civil. The courts are not going to come back and have you do restitution unless you take them to court on a civil tort. So long story short is, I addressed all that with this individual, but it's a good reminder to people that, especially our contractors, they do great things building our communities, but you got to secure your buckets, you got to secure your tools, all the stuff that's in the back of those. I was coming in this morning, and there's 2 or 3 around me, and you just see the stuff flying around the back. So yeah, it's dangerous when that stuff comes flying out of the back there at 55 miles an hour, because that object is going 55 miles an hour too. So if it hits you, it's going to hurt.
Well, before you go, why don't you tell everybody to have a safe and happy Labor Day weekend?
Yes. I know Sergeant Walker from Service to PD is here talking about the DUI task force, but please don't drink and drive. Have a safe weekend. And hopefully tonight, if you have time, tune in to K101 for Cochise County High School football tonight, where Tombstone's playing Chandler Prep. Thank you, everyone. Have a safe weekend.
Thank you for talking to us today, Sheriff Mark Daniels. And he just alluded, but who's coming in next, Carol?
Sergeant Tim Wachtel, Sierra Vista Police Department.
It's First Watch on KWCD Country, and it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. If you're driving to work, please be safe out there. If you've taken the day off to enjoy your long weekend, just do it. So we have Sierra Vista Police Department Sergeant Tim Wachtel here.
Good morning. Good morning, Cochise County.
So and it's the DUI task force.
It is, obviously, with the upcoming Labor Day weekend, the Southeastern Arizona DUI task force, we will be out doing a saturation detail in the serviced area this Saturday, September 4th, from 7 o'clock until 3 o'clock. So, again, if you guys choose to go out there and have a good time, by all means, have a good time, but do it safely and don't have contact with us.
And you'll see a lot of different agencies out and about as well.
You will. This weekend we have the service to PD. Huachuca City PD is helping out the local DPS office and along with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office. So we will, when we do these details, we have all these agencies that come in, and these agencies and these officers are dedicated to the detail only. So we won't be out there doing anything else, just looking for the impaired drivers, and hopefully we will be unsuccessful. But unfortunately, I always say that, and we are successful. So again, everybody, it's a choice everybody makes. Make the right choice, and again, have a good time, but do it safely.
And now that marijuana is legal in Arizona, that still does not let you drive while you're intoxicated.
That's correct. You can have marijuana now, but you still cannot have marijuana in your system and drive. You're still impaired. So, impaired driving is impaired driving. So, whether it's drugs or whether it's alcohol, don't do it.
So why do you announce the DUI task force is going to be there? Why do you let everybody know this?
It's just education. We want to get out there and let everybody know that we will be out there. Again, I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just out here trying to let everybody know, that we will be out there trying to educate the public on impaired driving, and just flat out don't do it.
And it's 100% preventable.
It is. Like I say, everybody makes a choice. For the most part, you know where you're going for that night. You know what's going on. Plan ahead. I mean, there's so many taxi services, Uber, you name it, Lyft, they're all out there. Friends, I mean, we all have friends that at least one of us in the group isn't going to drink. So, take advantage of that and get a designated driver.
And seriously, they have to pay attention, because otherwise their Uber is going to be you.
That's correct.
And that's not a good way to go.
And the penalty will be a little bit more than just your regular Uber fare. So
absolutely,
don't do it.
And you actually enjoy finding those designated drivers.
We do. When we pull people over and we talk to them, and we will be more than happy to have a good conversation with a designated driver and say thank you very much, because it doesn't take much to get that sober driver behind the wheel and just take everybody home. I mean, like I said, if everybody else in the vehicle is intoxicated and impaired, so be it. Have a good time. But as long as that driver who is behind the wheel is okay, then we're okay with that.
And let's talk consequences, because your car could be towed. You could kind of walk us through what happens if you are found drunk driving.
There's several things that can happen. It just really depends on what the situation is, what the severity of the impaired driving is. I mean, it can go all the way from, we can just take you to the station, complete the test and everything, and we can release you. We will definitely tow the vehicle. We can take you back to the station, complete the test, and we can book you into jail. And we can also tow the vehicle. Depending on what level you're at with the impaired driving, we can also impound your vehicle for 30 days. So the bottom line is, we're going to take you and we're going to take your vehicle. So you're going to lose.
And then also, and this doesn't have anything to do with your part of it, but you could lose your job, your relationships could suffer. I mean, this is could have consequences on your life. And a lot of people go, why are you doing this to me, man? I've heard so many people say that to officers. It's not the officer's fault.
No, it's not our fault, and we hear that a lot. This was my first time. It's just a quick bad decision I just made. Well, unfortunately, that was your decision you made, and we get blamed all the time. And you're right, your job. I mean, a lot of people can't afford to have a arrest on their record, and with all the security clearances, everything, and so it's not worth it. Bottom line.
All right. Well, remind us one more time where you're going to be and when.
All right. Again, it'll be this Saturday night, September 4th, from 7 o'clock until 3 o'clock in the morning. We will be in the serviced area, so, whether it's down Fry Boulevard, whether it's down 92, whether it's down 90, who knows, we'll be out there. I also like to thank Jimmy John's. They're actually providing dinner for us, for everybody who's working the details. So, again, guys, have fun, have a good weekend, but do it safely.
All right. Well, thank you for coming and talking to us today, Sergeant Wachtel from Sierra Vista Police Department.
Thank you.
And Carol, how do they find us at the Cochise County Sheriff's Office?
So you can take a look at our webpage at cochise.az.gov/sheriff. We also have links there to our Twitter account and Instagram, which we are going to be beefing up a whole bunch here soon, so get ready for that. And you can give us a call, 432-9500. So if you need anything, reach out and touch us.
It's First Watch on KWCD Country, and it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.